On behalf of Jeannie and Chris, I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight. I'd like to make a special thank you to Laura and Don Sanchagirl, Karen Katie, and Lee Thor for helping raise two beautiful people who without we wouldn't be here tonight. Also, another special thought goes out to Mr. Gene Katie, who's here in spirit tonight, looking down over us. It's been an interesting journey that brought me here tonight as Chris's best man. When I was 5 years old, I moved from Chicago to Danbury, Connecticut. And I was a very introverted, quiet, shy guy, and had a hard time making friends. My mom put me in Tiger Cubs, which is a step right below Cub Scouts. And the first meeting, I'm there, standing on the side, and all the kids knew each other. They were playing. I was by myself, couldn't make friends, and very nervous. And all of a sudden, across the room, this really big kid makes eye contact with me, and starts marching over towards me. And the fear that came across me, the eyes were wide, I didn't know what to do. But he comes up to me, puts his hand out, and he says, "Hi, I'm Chris." And I say, "Hi, I'm Chris." And we were amazed that two people could have the same first name. Chris was such an uncommon name. So our friendship began at 5 years old, and I never thought that 24 years later I'd be standing here as his best man. Chris famously pointed out at my wedding how different we are. And we are completely different in every single way you imagine. One of the biggest differences is our appearance and how we look. Now, Chris, growing up, struggled with his image. He just didn't care of how he looked. It just wasn't his priority, which is okay. His staple outfit was a pair of gym shorts and a Patriots jersey. Everywhere. That's all he wore. And disheveled hair, of course. Now, my family, we had a house in Vermont. We would take trips up there. And the first time we brought Chris, we show up at his house to pick him up. He walks out with a JanSport backpack, barely half full. I said, "Is that all you're bringing?" And the typical confidence of Chris said, "Yeah, why?" And inside that JanSport backpack was a pair of gym shorts and two Patriots shirts. I don't think he even had a spare pair of underwear. Now, Chris would always give me a hard time for looking good. I took my time to look good. I always made sure I looked good, and as a result, I never had trouble getting dates. But as we grew up, he would always give me a hard time. Like, "Girl, get out of the bathroom. Why are you taking so long?" And I always would just laugh and brush it off. And then one time he said, in his typical bantering, he says, "You're such a woman. Why do you take so long in the bathroom?" And I turned to him and said, "Well, it takes one to get one." And I saw the light bulb go off in his head. So the next Vermont trip, we go pick him up. And we had the car packed, and we didn't think anything of it because Chris would just have a half-filled JanSport backpack. And he comes out, dressed to the nines, his hair all gelled up. He had a suitcase packed to the brim, and he had 3 button-down shirts, finely pressed on the hangers in plastic. Our jaws just dropped. But I finally got through to him. Great. Now, as I've already mentioned, our biggest difference is visually obvious. Chris is a big guy, very big guy, and he gets a hard time for that. But I'm not referring to just what you're thinking I'm referring to. He has a very large personality, but most importantly, he has the biggest heart I've ever met someone. And I wouldn't trust anyone more than I trust Chris. I couldn't imagine growing up without him. He's a big part of how I got to be who I am as a person today. Now, I was already living in Oklahoma when he met Jeannie. So I didn't know Jeannie, I didn't know anything about her, what she was like. But talking to Chris on the phone, I knew she was perfect. He had never talked about someone with such excitement in the past. He didn't say at the time, but I knew talking to him that night that she was the one. Now, when I did finally meet Jeannie, I immediately knew why. She's extremely beautiful, caring, kind, easy to get along with, but most importantly, she puts up with his crap. Which brings me to my final story and advice for you, Jeannie. So growing up, when I'd go over to Chris's house, he knew how to push the boundaries. And Mrs. Kagan wasn't having any of it. But she had a secret weapon. And she called this the intimidator, or the enforcer. So in honor of your marriage to Chris tonight, I will present to you the intimidator. Music line. So without further ado, let's all raise our glasses. Here's to the beautiful couple, Jamie and Chris. They have a lifetime of happiness. Cheers. Cheers. Okay.